We are people, and we are tend to be lazy. The main task of our brain is to keep the energy, so having a choice, it would definitely choose the easiest one. And yeah, we live in 21st century when the world is developing exceedingly quickly, so we know what productivity and discipline are, but these amazing qualities are temporary, and at the end of the day, laziness makes itself felt. While we write new goals and watch motivational YouTube videos, we feel enthusiastic. We think of our ideas, projects, useful habits, so on. But with each subsequent day, enthusiasm disappears, and laziness comes to us with its best friend, procrastination. It's all one vicious cycle from which only a few manage to get out or at least adapt to it and be productive.
I'm not a productivity coach, I'm not a productive person, or the left I tend to procrastinate, but I'm not wasting my time by scrolling the Instagram or just lying in the bed. I have sort of bad habits, like I can avoid some important tasks, I can postpone the important tasks, I can clean my room instead of reading the book or having a deadline, I can perform my task the last night before the deadline. And binge watching is also familiar for me, but I suppose that most of the people who watch my YouTube video also have these sort of bad habits, and I'm glad we met together. But despite having all of these bad habits, I am able to force myself to sit in front of the laptop and start doing my task. I can force myself to open the book and start reading about something, you know. Almost all people are lazy, but some are able to defeat the laziness while others cannot do that. So in this video I want to share with you my personal tips, how I actually overcome my laziness and how I can actually integrate these important habits from successful people. And I hope that this video will be extremely useful for you because, you know, I'm lazy, you're lazy, we can understand each other. So let's jump right in. Let's start from the most important idea. When you feel absolutely lazy, think about this moment from the future perspective. It's like you go to the time machine, you move to the future and see how you are doing there. But frequently people regret that they didn't start to do something early and lost a lot of time. And they think that if they had forced themselves to do something earlier, for now they would already have specific results. For example, I regret that I didn't start to make my YouTube videos early, because if I had do that, for now I would have specific results and useful skills and experience. So now we will use this interesting method in order to get our ass up and start to do something. We feel absolutely lazy, we mentally go to the future where we never did this task and start to regret about that, start to think that we again lost a lot of time, but then we start to realize that this is just our thoughts, and we mentally come back to the present moment and understand that all of that lost time is already ahead and we have another chance in order to perform this important task. And our attitude toward the work changes completely. Sounds really cool, right? And I really appreciate this method, and I usually apply it in my painting because I want to become better at that. So quite frequently I imagine myself having beautiful skills in painting, so I hope this method will help you as well. The next idea that can help me to overcome my laziness, I just smoke my dopamine receptors. You know, when I feel absolutely lazy and I cannot concentrate on the important task in any way, I just turn off the gadgets, move all of these books, notebooks away from me, close my room, close the windows, and just sit on the bed. Sounds strange, right? But this action can help me to feel this state of inactivity, right? The fact is that quite frequently we compensate for this feel of laziness with our phone that we like to use, and we start to associate this laziness with something pleasant. And of course later we will think that laziness, this is bad and why I was so lazy, but in the very moment of this laziness we felt absolutely okay because we watched the YouTube videos and we felt like we are doing something. Running away the sources of entertainment, we start to perceive the feel of inactivity and start to think about performing the task in a completely new way. Well, think about it and try this method. It helps me so much. The next way of defeating the laziness, this is correct time management. And I personally prefer the system like the most arduous and mundane work should be done in the morning, the work that is less boring should be done in the afternoon, and some creative tasks and easy tasks should be done in the evening. Because I understand that I tend to be lazy in the evening and I can easily postpone some tasks to the next day.
Like your willingness to say no to the bad things in the morning is higher. For example, you're most likely to say no to the junk food or scrolling the Instagram in the morning than in the evening. That's why I try to be the most productive in the morning time and do the most important tasks in the morning.
Prioritize your time. This is a hard skill that requires a lot of time, but I know that you can develop this skill. Next, I advise you to have a specific list of activities that you can perform despite your feelings of laziness. Because sometimes all of the ideas that I talked before don't work at all. And in this situation, I can save my time by having specific activities that I can do despite my mood. For example, when I am in the state of productivity, I can come up with several ideas like cleaning my room, holding my stuff, and trying some new hair or makeup. And I can easily perform these tasks while I am feeling lazy because, these tasks do not require so much effort, right? And again, I have really interesting habit. When I feel absolutely lazy, I most likely go to help my mom with something. It helps me so much because having this sort of a list, I can save my time and do something useful instead of lying on the bed or scrolling the Instagram when I feel absolutely lazy. The next rule that I use for my productivity, this is 30 minutes rule. I try to convince myself that I will perform this task for like 30 minutes, and it sounds pretty beautiful for our brain that tries to keep the energy. It sounds more attractive than the 3 or 4 hours of the work, right? And then I get involved in the process and continue to perform my task. Also, many psychologists advise us to have specific useful habits in order to be productive in specific parts of the day. But, I tried so much time to develop these certain habits, but it didn't work for me. I cannot stay with the same habits for a long period of time. So I just try to convince myself that I would work for at least 30 minutes and then I can easily get involved in the process. Another thing that I can do in order to overcome my laziness, this is creating a beautiful work environment that will motivate me to start to do something. Because sometimes the place where I'm studying or working doesn't actually motivate me. And I try to change the position of different subjects on my table, maybe put the picture on the wall, things like that, and I start to feel the inspiration to do something. And sometimes I can also scroll the Pinterest to see these beautiful motivational pictures that can also make me feel ready to perform the task. Pinterest motivates me all the time, and I think that Pinterest can be another point in my video because this is just a beautiful source of additional inspiration. And guys, my next idea, try to spend some time outside. This little activity can also help you to overcome the laziness because sometimes I feel really overwhelmed with that amount of work and lessons, and I just go outside to enjoy the nature, to enjoy the environment around me, to breathe the fresh air, things like that, and while I come back, I can do something really effectively. So think about it. It can also help you.